take a deep breath and come hang out with me while I do this painting. I have been doing a lot of painting lately, and I love the art I've been doing. This particular piece right here, I'm not as in love with, but it has taught me a few lessons, I suppose. You don't need to be in love with every art piece that you create, and that goes for other things in life. Growth happens when things aren't perfect. I definitely did enjoy making this though. I usually enjoy all the art I make. I just wanted to answer a few random questions that I have gotten about my art and being creative. My love for art has recently been reignited, and it's caused me to be more and more excited about it and do more and more of it. I do a lot of different types of art: watercolor, acrylic paint, pencil drawing, which includes a lot of portraits. I've done a lot of portraits in the past, and I hope to do a lot more. I also just started working with oil paints, which functions way differently than watercolor or acrylic. And it's an interesting process because you can create different things with different mediums. I like the process of the grass in this specific part of the painting because I was learning how to use my brush in a more efficient way to make the grass. I was learning a little bit more of the hand control for it. At this point in time, I was also getting slightly impatient with how long things were taking to dry, because with watercolor you have to wait between layers for it to dry unless you want a certain effect. And because I was recording and didn't want to, get up and pause the recording, it was kind of frustrating, and I didn't have a lot of room on my phone to record, so I got a little bit impatient here, but I end up having to just go back and sharpen up some lines and do more layering. I think watercolor is more useful for more delicate art, and I imagine it can be used for bold art, but from what I've seen, people often just do delicate art with watercolor. And in this specific painting, I was trying to achieve something more bold. My image of what I wanted the piece to turn out was a little bit more bold than what it turned out being, which is one reason why it wasn't my preference. If you are enjoying this video and my other content, I would love if you were to subscribe to me, comment. I'd love to hear your art ideas and just hear from you guys. I absolutely love how the trees turned out in this painting. I liked that I used a color that I wouldn't typically use. Typically in this type of art, I would just use black because it's at nighttime and it would be like a silhouette. But I like the control I also learned with my paintbrush. The trees on the right were a little bit better than the ones on the left, but it's all a work in progress. I've been asked a few times how long I've been doing art. Basically, forever. I don't know, as soon as, when you're a kid and you're told to do art projects, I don't know, that's kind of when I did it. I guess if you ask the question when I started doing it more on my own and on my own terms and trying to build on to my art, I guess you could say maybe around the age of 10. But I suppose I was just always interested in it and always expressed interest and did art on my own. But I didn't start fully getting into it, I guess, till I was 10 to 13. And I had more of a collection on my own as opposed to just having instruction through school. I also often get the question of how long a particular piece has took me to do. It's really difficult sometimes because some of my art is done very casually, especially the drawing. I'll multitask with it. I'll watch TV or listen to something or, do it here and there randomly, so it's hard to really clock some of the drawing time. The painting time is a little bit easier to clock and tell you how long it took because usually I sit there for the majority of the session to do it. Sometimes I'll do it in 2 to 3 sessions, but it's paint. You kind of have to sit there and do it and focus on it a little bit more than with drawing because you have your whole setup with water and paint brushes, and sometimes you don't want the paint to dry because you need to do some blending and stuff. But this specific painting right here only took an hour and a half, but some of my artwork have taken over 16 hours or longer to complete, some even longer than that, but it's hard to specifically say. I've been starting to try to keep track of the time a little bit, just because I'm also curious myself. I like how adding the little orange, yellow stars on this kind of brightened it up a little bit. I truly want to thank everybody who has been supporting me and encouraging me and hyping up my artwork because it has made it feel a lot more worth it. I hope to continue to share and continue to grow.